welcome back to my channel. Sorry if I'm looking this way and if the lighting's terrible. My camera broke while I was in Turkey. Like, I was using it. I mean, this is gonna be not to do with this part of the video, but I was using it while I was there. Of course, my dog starts to bark right when I start to record. Yeah, so my camera broke while I was there. So I was using it for most of the days, or not even. I used it for that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, part of Monday, and then the SD card stopped working. It was full. So then that night I went to like fix it. I like emptied it and stuff, and then the next day I forgot to bring it with us while we went out. And then when we came back to the room was like kind of set up a little weird, but the camera wasn't working. So broken, won't turn on, like power button won't work. So now I'm phone vlogging because I can't afford to buy a new camera right now. What happened? Now today it's the August 17th, I think, and I was there August 8th is when my appointment got canceled. I waited a while just to collect my thoughts, get more information, and to not cry the whole video. So what happened is I was supposed to have a rhinoplasty on August 8th. It's supposed to be rhinoplasty, septoplasty, like fix the deviated septum, make the nose more aesthetic. And it got canceled a few hours before the appointment. So you can kind of see what happened in the video, but I'll explain more. So I booked the surgery in, I think, September or October of 2021. And then it was supposed to happen that day. And then I've had like my regular blood panels done, so I thought everything was good, set to go. I didn't know what else they tested you for like these surgeries. So when I got to Istanbul, Turkey on the 2 days before my appointment, I had my PCR test for the COVID test, which they put in your mouth and your nose, and then I had blood panel, which I thought it was just like your regular physical blood panel. So I had that done, and then day of surgery, you know, I was all excited. I didn't feel like I was having surgery. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was having surgery. I went to the hospital. Oh, also, all of this, by the way, isn't any criticism to anyone involved or anything like that. This is just like telling my experience of what happened. This is just telling my experience of like what happened, because obviously I posted on my YouTube that I was going there for a reason. So this is just updating why that reason didn't happen. Like, this is just all informational, like stuff like that. Yeah, so I went that day. I filled out some paperwork. I was put in a room with Nate in like our hospital room, and then I had a little thing with like the anesthesiologist like asking me questions, and then I had someone come in, and I feel like it's a burp. I had someone come in, they took my photos of like front, side, different angles of my nose, and then I had my consultation with the doctor, and it went good for the most part. Like, I was like a little nervous after that. It wasn't gonna be like my inspo pictures, like I knew that, but I felt like it wasn't gonna change too much, so I was like a little nervous, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, once your nose is changed, there's no going back, and I knew that before, I know that now. But yeah, so anyways, a few minutes after the consultation, like not even 10 minutes after, I think, the doctor and his assistant came back into the room and asked my boyfriend to leave. Like, they said there was a little problem, and they asked him to leave the room for patient confidentiality reasons. They had him leave the room, and I was like, oh my god, like, what's the problem? Because like, I have the worst luck in the world. Since January of this year, I just have bad luck with everything. So yeah, so Nate left the room, and they told me that my blood tests came back for hepatitis C. And hepatitis C, I'll maybe pop something up so it's like a very accurate description, but of my understanding, it's like I think a liver infection, and you get it from like contaminated blood or tattoos, dentist appointments, like where stuff isn't clean, potentially like a nail salon. But I was like, I haven't gotten a tattoo in a few years. I haven't gone to the dentist in a while, and I've had blood work since then. I don't ever touch blood, like nothing contaminated. I am an esthetician. I do lashes and facials, but I don't touch open wounds. I clean my hands. I wear gloves when I have to. So like, I'm like, what? And in this moment, I didn't know what it was. Like I'd heard of the word, but I never knew what it was. So I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? And so they showed it to me like written down, and just in case I didn't understand what they were saying, like the word hepatitis C written down. And then they just kept saying like, yeah, like it came back for that. Like, do you know what that is? I was like, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. But there was like no explanation. And they're like, did you know you had this? And I was like, no. And they're like, well, you need to be truthful with us because like we need to know what you have to do the surgery. And I was like, I didn't know about this at all. Like, what is this? So at this point, when they were telling me this, like the back of my neck started getting sweaty, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna pass out. Because I don't know if I've said on here before, but I've passed out a lot before. I faint randomly. So the back of my neck started getting like hot and sweaty, and I was like, oh my God, am I gonna pass out? And then so I'm standing next to the side of the bed, and both of them are sitting in front of me, and I'm just looking at them, and everything started going like black, patchy black, like flashing spots everywhere, because this is what usually happens to me. And I didn't want to say anything because it was like, I didn't want that to be the reason my appointment got canceled because I passed out, because it does happen to me, but they obviously won't think of that. Like they won't think that's like not natural, but you know what I mean? So everything started going black, and I'm like standing there yelling in my head, like, do not pass out, just listen to what they have to say, get through this conversation, like you don't need to pass out right now. And then my hearing started going, like everything started ringing, and I was like, oh my God. So I sat on the bed behind me, like that was behind me, and like put my hair in a ponytail or a bun, and I was still like listening to them, kind of talking to them, like trying to fight through passing out while everything's like patchy black and I can't hear. So they're like, so you didn't know you had this? And I was like, no, like no idea. So they're like, okay, we're gonna rerun your blood again. But I thought they would take new blood just in case like maybe it got swapped or something. But they retested the same blood, which I would have like taken new blood. So they're like, we'll retest the same blood. If it comes back positive again, we'll talk to the anesthesiologist to see if we're gonna proceed with the surgery, but your surgery may be canceled. And I was like, great, perfect. So they left the room. I was in the room, like laying down on the bed, panicking. Nate didn't come back for a few minutes later. Apparently he walked into the wrong room. He was in some other person's room. So he came back in, and I told him, and he was like, you know, like, it's okay. Like, you probably don't have it. You'll get through this. Like, just being chill, calm, cool, collected. And I was just panicking. And I was like texting people in my WhatsApp group chat that I'm in with people around the world, that have gone to him, are going to him, plan to go to him, might go to him. And they're like, oh my God, like what? And I was like, just freaking out. And Nate was like, just stop, get off your phone. Let's like do something to keep you distracted. We looked it up a little bit. And I was still just like, there's no way I have this. So I was like, okay, it's probably just a false positive. We're good. Because I was like, why do I have to have this bad luck? I was like, first off, my camera already stopped working. There's something else that happened too. I forget. It was a rough week to get there. But my camera already stopped working too. So then I was recording on my phone, like as you saw. I'm just rambling. It's already at like over 12 minutes. So I was like, okay, we'll get through this. And then his assistant came back in. We talked about something. It wasn't about that, but I don't remember what it was. And then I think she came back, and then she came back again, I think for like payment. So like the plan was, I forget what time it was when I found this all out. It was like a little bit before 9 o'clock, and the surgery wasn't going to be till 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon anyways. So she came and took like the rest of my payment, wrote it down, gave me a slip. And then a little while later, 2 nurses came in to get me prepped, and I was like, oh my God, like this is going good. Like why else would I get prepped if it's not happening, you know? So they took like some vitals and stuff, and then they came back a little while later, and they put the IV in my hand, which is like, I still have like a little scab from it. I hate it so much. Like you can see it poking out. I'm the biggest baby when it comes to hand ones, because when I got my laparoscopy before, it hurt for like months later. Like it was bruised, it was messed up. So I just hate hand ones. I like become like immobile. So I was like having Nate do everything for me, because they put it in and then they're like, okay, you have to change. And I was like, how am I gonna change? I can't use this hand now. So Nate helped me change. They gave like me this disposable underwear because I had my period. So he had helped me like get the old pad off, put the new pad on, get into the outfit, try to do my hair. He had to put my compression socks on off to my thighs. That was like a process. I was like, I'm immobile now, like you have to do this. Put my hairnet on. So I was like sitting there ready. I was like, okay, so like this is happening. Like, why else would I get ready? They put a spray at my nose, which after a little while, it actually started hurting. So I don't know if I was allergic to it or not, because I don't think it's supposed to hurt. But then a little while after this, the doctor knocked on the door and he was on the phone and he like put his head in and he was like all scrubbed up. I was like, cool. Like, even though I wasn't the one getting surgery, I think he was going to do someone else's surgery. Like, I think it was supposed to be second case of the day. And then he was like, I'll be right back. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is happening. Like, he's coming to tell me this is happening. And then he comes back a few minutes later and him and the assistant come back and they told me it came back positive again. They're canceling my appointment. And I was like, what? I was like, I came here from the United States, flew to Turkey, and it's canceled. So I don't know what happened about the whole talking to the anesthesiologist thing. Like, he didn't re-mention that, so I don't know if they actually did or not. And he was like, yeah, like, it's still positive. I recommend you going back to your country and getting retested again, and then maybe doing like a ultrasound, like a few other things like that. And I was like, just like in shock at this point, like listening but not listening, because I was just like, what? And so I think I asked something. I was like, is there any way this could be like a false positive? I mean, I was like, when I got my blood taken, I didn't eat or drink that day because I was traveling all day. Like, for some reason, does that have anything to do with it? And he was just like, you know, you just have to like go back home, get retested there. And then his assistant kind of like tried offering a resolution a little bit. She was like, oh, maybe we can get you checked out by one of our doctors here. And she said something about it, but like get checked out there at that hospital from one of their doctors. And he was like, no, like he shut it down right away. He's like, no, like I want you to do it back in your country. And then like that was kind of it. He left because I think he had surgery. And I was like, oh my God. I posted a TikTok. It didn't say like who I went to. I only said that I went to Turkey, or Istanbul, Turkey to get a nose job. I didn't say who I went to. And I posted that and like said what happened. And like one of those new like trendy sounds. And then this girl comes in on it saying like, oh my God, like the same thing happened to me. And like that was it. I didn't reply to it. I didn't like it or anything. And then she ended up finding me on Instagram. And she said, she was like, I'm not gonna say her name or anything. She was like, hey girl, I saw your TikTok about your experience in Istanbul for a rhinoplasty. I went to blank. I'm not gonna say the organization. And she goes, and I had the same exact experience. And it was like the same place that I went to. She was literally IV in hand, gown on. Doctor said the same thing. I have Hep C and canceled. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Because like, same thing to me. Like, I mean, I found out after the consultation, but later on I had the IV gown, everything. And then they canceled. And then she said, I saw you booked with Dr. U, which I did. She was, and I booked with Emra, who is in the same like vicinity, just like one of the other doctors in the place. So like same place. She was, I was wondering why they determined such a random false diagnosis. I just got back 2 weeks ago, so disappointed. And I was like, oh, you just got back 2 weeks ago. And then like I backtracked and it was like the same week I went. And then I sent her like the playlist of the videos that I was making. And then she told me that they drew her blood like the same day of the surgery because it was supposed to get tested the day you land and then you have a spare day and then the day of your surgery. But for some reason, hers didn't get tested until I think like the day of surgery. So then she says that they got the diagnosis that she had tested positive for hepatitis C. So then she said that they sent her blood to the Ministry of Turkey Health to give guaranteed confirmation, which wasn't even an option for me. They just said, go get tested back at home. So I didn't know you could get your blood like sent somewhere there to get tested. That was never told to me and I didn't know. So then she said 2 days of waiting and the person goes to her hotel saying, good news, you're negative. So she was false negative. And then they gave her a new surgery date for December, even though she was still there. She had to wait till December, even though she found out 2 days later she was negative and was still there. And then she said, I feel like we had surgery booked around the same time. Mine was 8/8. And that was literally the day of my surgery. So me and her were in the same hospital at the same time. And we both got the news that we were positive for hepatitis C, and then both found out we were false negative on the same exact day. And I was like, that to me is literally insane, that the same exact thing happened to each other on the same day, and we both found out that we were false positive later on. So let me see. So to backtrack on like 2 different things off of that, I just think it was crazy because I don't know if they just didn't look at my blood until the day of surgery instead of when they got the results 2 days before, because I'm already burping. So if she got her blood tested the day of surgery and got the results the day of surgery, that means when I got my blood work done 2 days prior, they had my results 2 days prior. If they looked at it or if they didn't look at it, I don't know. And then she got her blood sent off to the Ministry of Health in Turkey, and they got answers 2 days later. So, meaning if they had I need water. Meaning if they had my blood results 2 days prior and had looked at it and saw that it was false, or saw that it was positive, they could have sent my blood out to the ministry, and then 2 days later, day of my surgery, would have known that it was false positive, that it was not right, that I don't have it. But that wasn't even when we found out that I had it, it wasn't even given to me as an option. So I don't know why it was given to her and not to me. But literally it could have all been resolved and I still could have had surgery. So that's like one of the things that like really, really bothers me, because it's like everything that could have been done was not done. So that's just like really annoying. And then something else, there was actually 3 things. That was one. Another one, I forget what I was going to say next, so maybe I'll rethink about it. But another one is, so I was talking to multiple different group chats of girls all around the world, and they said, that's kind of like, they also thought that was insane and a weird coincidence, because obviously like when I got home, it was still false positive. So it's like, I don't really know how much, like this is just like a conspiracy, you know what I mean? Because like I did test false positive when I got home. I don't know about her, if she got retested when she got home or not. But another thing was, everyone was like, oh my god, that's weird. But then people were like, wait, like the 2 doctors literally went on vacation either later that day or the next day. So they're like, did they just like cancel both your eyes of surgery so they can go on vacation sooner? Because like that's just what everyone was conspiracying. Like people were sending me screenshots of the doctors on vacations like with timestamps. So it's like, that's just another thing that is like, weird. That I just wanted to add to this, just to like, it's just so, it's not like they're bad doctors. They do good work, obviously. But I just wanted to add this so people knew like what happened to me and this other girl on the same exact day and the same exact thing. There was something else. So even this girl too, I just think it's weird that it's like we went on the same day and everything, and then we still found each other, because like I live on one side of the US, and I'm not gonna say where she lives, but she lives on the whole opposite side of the US for me, and she still found my TikTok, found my Instagram, and we still found out, and all these other girls and us were talking, and it's just like, it's just insane. Not even girls and guys were talking, and it's just like insane. It's just the weirdest coincidence ever, that is just like, what is this world, you know what I mean? Also, she sent me like what she got refunded, and it sounds like she got refunded more than me. Like, so she stayed the night at the hospital because she was supposed to get her blood work in the morning. So she stayed the night and then woke up in the morning, got the blood work and the IV and everything, and then left later that day. And she only paid $80 for the hospital. And then I was only at the hospital for literally maybe 4 hours, and I paid $180. So she spent the night at the hospital and spent way longer and paid $80. And got the same thing done, like hand IV, gown. But I didn't stay the night and only spent 4 hours, and I had to pay $180, which I also think is weird. So then his assistant was like, you know, like, I'm sorry, get back dressed. I'll come back in a little bit, and I'll get you an earlier ride. And then like, let me know if you plan to, or take like the rest of the day. Let me know if you plan to stay the rest of your trip or not. We'll refund you the part of the surgery. If you plan to go back earlier, we'll refund you like those days for the hotel. And like, she left the room, and I just started crying on the bed. Like, I was trying not to cry when they were in the room, but I was like just bawling on the bed because I was just like, why is this my luck? I was like, so many other people go. Yeah, I was like, why is this my luck? Like, so many other people go. Things go smooth. Obviously, with every doctor out there, some bumps in the road. But like, I was talking to so many people. Other people were already there. We were talking about their experience. I was like, okay, now it's like my turn. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't even know. I still don't even know how to like put it into words or act like it's real. Like in my head now, my way of coping is acting like this was all a dream and it was never supposed to happen in the first place. Even though that's not healthy. But I was just like, what is this? And then so I was trying to change back into my other clothes. Nate was helping me. I was just crying, and I was trying not to cry because I don't like crying in front of people anyway, so I didn't want to cry in front of him. But I was a mess, and I was also trying to keep myself together because I knew like the nurses were going to come back in to take the IV out. The assistant was going to come back, and I just don't want to cry in front of other people. But obviously it's like all in your eyes, you can see it. So I'm just like saying the whole why me thing with Nate. The one nurse comes back in, she's like, I'm sorry, and like takes my IV out, trying not to cry again. And then his assistant comes back in, and she like says she's sorry again, and she was going to give me she was giving me my paperwork. So it showed like the blood test, and then where it said like the positive hep C test, but it was all in Turkish, but you could see like where it said positive. So she was like giving the paperwork to me, and then she looks at me and she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I can tell you've been crying. And I was like, why did you say that? Because it made me like break down and start crying again, because I just can't do emotion with other people. So she was giving me a hug, and then I asked her, I was like, okay. She was like, once you get your stuff figured out, like, and you're healthy, you can come back and like get the surgery done. And I remember from WhatsApp group chats that he's booked until 2024 now. Like he booked all the way until the end of 2023, and that they weren't releasing the 2024 dates yet. So I said, I was like, yeah, like I'm in this group chat. I was like, I heard he's booked until 2024. Like, do I have to wait till then? And she was like, yeah, unfortunately you would have to wait till then, but you can go on the cancellation list and maybe come sooner. I was like, great, like it's canceled for this reason, and I'd still have to wait another year to 2 years now to get it done, and then probably pay more because like the price increase in that, because I don't know if they would honor my price or not. So I don't want to forget anything. Yeah, so she said she was gonna figure out what I'm getting returned like for my money, and then we ended up getting in a shuttle or transport back to our hotel, and it was like kind of just silence. I just didn't want to talk, like, and Nate could tell like I just wanted my space, and I was just like kind of laying in bed crying, and then he freaking fell asleep. Like he fell asleep and was asleep for a couple hours. That is like obviously the time change, but he slept a decent amount that night. I only slept for like an hour that night, and I was already running off of like less than 6 hours of sleep than for the few days we were there. So I was just in bed crying. I was texting people because I was like, at this point I was like, I just felt embarrassed, because I was like, obviously when people hear from here, when they hear like, oh, I'm going to Turkey for a nose job, they're like, you're psychotic. But then it's like you look it up and it's like the #1 place to go, but it's still like the thought of it and people thinking like, you're crazy, you're gonna get screwed up, like something's gonna happen to you. But then all these people have these lucky stories, but then it happens to me. So I'm like, now I have to tell like my family, my boyfriend's family, some friends, people from work, some clients. And I was like, now they all gonna hear like, oh yeah, it didn't work. Like, so I was like, just for that part. So it took me a while before I even texted anyone, and I was like, I don't want to talk about it, but this is like what went down. So everyone's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I feel so bad for you, like that type of stuff. But they're all probably texting me like, hey, like you're stupid. Probably not, but that's what I think. And then I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I was like, I just want to go home. Like, even though I don't want to face anyone, confront anyone, I just don't want to be here. So I was like looking for the next flights out. But then of course I didn't get full refundable tickets because I thought I'm not going to cancel my trip. And obviously I thought the surgery was going to happen. So I got like partially refundable tickets. So I didn't really know how that worked for transferring flights. And then I flew Delta and Turkish Airlines. Turkish Airlines website just confuses me. I couldn't find where to switch your flight on the app. Someone ended up sending it to me on the WhatsApp group chat, like where to go on their website. And their phone number like would never work for me every time I tried to call it. So I changed my flights, and I didn't know, like I wanted to leave right then, but I was like, okay, it took us so long to get here, we should stay. But then that Thursday and Friday and maybe Saturday, we're supposed to rain. I was like, okay, so if we stay though, we can't really even go out because it's gonna be raining. Because that was supposed to be days we just stayed in the in the hotel room anyways after surgery. So I was like, okay, it's Monday today. We'll have Tuesday. We'll leave Wednesday. Yeah, because Thursday and Friday and potentially Saturday we're gonna rain. So I found flights, but then Delta only gave me back the price, like an e-credit for one of the tickets. Like it was $1,020 for both tickets, and I only got $1,020 in credit. And that's it. And then each ticket to go back home was like $500 something each. And then Turkish, it said that there was like a payment, like a fee you had to pay for switching the flights, but it didn't say the fee, like what price it was. So it's like, okay, it's probably not that much. And then I never got an e-credit. So I was trying to like figure it out, and I think they charged the entirety of the freaking first flight for a change, because I was like looking stuff up and it said like if you don't change it within the first 24 hours, like their website confuses me. So I lost thousands of dollars, like over $2,000, and then paid more to freaking get home for this being canceled. Because it was like, again, like you could have saved your money and just stayed the rest of the trip, but I didn't know exactly that I got that screwed until after I booked the new flights home. And then we would have had to stayed in the hotel room for like 2-3 days anyways. And then I just wanted to go home. Like I just didn't want to be there anymore. But I didn't know I got that screwed. And then it would have been like a couple $100 more, obviously, for staying at the hotel if we stayed till Sunday. So we got that back. I think it was like $105 or $150 a day. But still, I lost more money than if I just stayed. So speaking about like price and refunds again, I forget exactly what I stated in the video because I forgot to rewatch the video. I didn't forget, I just didn't want to. So I still paid $1,195 to the whole like surgery as a whole, without not including the flights. That was for like transfers, the days I stayed in the hotel already, hospital stuff, my deposit. So I already had to pay that. And then like PCR test and blood work. And then I got refunded $2,165. So that was supposed to be like the surgery and then the remainder days in the hotel. So I did get refunded that part. But so now going to my screenshots of my flights. So originally my whole surgery with like what I paid for flights and then everything that I was supposed to pay for out there was supposed to be $6,854. And then I got refunded the little over $2,000, but I ended up taking sooner flights home. So originally I booked fully refundable flight tickets, but then I got a sooner surgery date. So my surgery is supposed to be in the end of September, beginning of October, and I ended up going for August. So I got those flights fully refunded, which I'm still waiting on the money because flights suck right now and it's been months. I'm still working on that, so still don't have that money back yet, but I'm supposed to get that money back. And then when I rebooked my new flights, I wanted to get fully refundable again, but they were like outrageously expensive because I guess like August is a really expensive month to travel out in Europe. So it was already expensive for that, and then all flights are just insanely expensive right now in general. So it was a lot of money, and I really should have just paid for the fully refundable, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna cancel, like I'm gonna go this time. So I paid for partly refundable flight tickets. So when the surgery got canceled, all I wanted to do was go home. I was like, I don't want to stay here anymore because it was a Monday. So I still had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I still had 6 days left. So I didn't want to be there anymore. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I was like not wanting to be there. And then also it was supposed to rain, I think that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's 3 days it was supposed to rain. I know I said that in the video. So I was like, I just want to go home. So I think I said in the video, like I paid for new flights, got screwed over. If not, I'll just write a blurb right here if I didn't mention that, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned that. So that was supposed to be the price. And then my dog's barking. So then I got the money back, but then I was like, okay, so I'm paying for the new flight tickets. I'm pretty sure I mentioned all this before. So I got screwed over with the new flights. So in total, I don't know if I mentioned this in the video before, with the new flights, And then the money I got back, I still paid $6,577. And that was without having surgery. So I only saved a little over $200 and I got nothing done. So it's just like annoying. It's just annoying because like there's so many people that I was talking to and they're like, oh, you can just like book another surgery. And it's like, I really can't, at least for a while, because I still spent over $6,000, like $6,500. And it didn't even happen. Also, it ended up only being a few day vacation. Like Saturday, I was flying, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday, and then I went home Wednesday. So it was really only like, it was 5 days, but it was really only like 3 days for that much money. And that took me a long time to save up, and then I shouldn't have like spent it anyways, because I was working a 14-hour job, which I found out I got ripped off from other people that got paid more when I got hired after. I was working a 14-hour job, so I was saving money from that. And then I ended up quitting my job in January to take care of my mom when she had breast cancer. So January I wasn't working, February I wasn't working. I planned to, I think, start working again in February or March, but then this other job that I got kept postponing, but I was like, okay, I really want to work here. So I didn't work for January, February, March, April, and I was supposed to start in May. Like, I know those 4 months, like, you're stupid, you should have got another job. But one, I was taking care of my mom who was going through chemo, and I really wanted this job. So it's like, okay, like this job's worth it, and I'm also taking care of my mom, so like I'll wait. It's fine. And then so that whole time I wasn't making money, and also I planned to do cricket and stuff to make like side money, but I have no luck. So every time I tried using the cricket, it just wasn't working, even though I bought so much stuff for it. Anyways, so I wasn't working then, and then I got a job in May, and it's just been very, 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 very slow on pay. Like, I'm lucky if I make $50 a week, and then the surgery got bumped up to August. So I just haven't really made money, and it took so long for me to make what I was making. So it's like, I can't, that money, like some people also said to me like, oh, like, it's just money, like it'll come back. But it's like, it took me so long to make that much, and I'm really not making anything right now. So it's like, I really needed, if it wasn't gonna happen, I really needed at least like half of that back to have more of it back. Like, it's, I don't really know how to explain it right, but it took me a long time to make that money. I really budgeted that for a long time, and I've been budgeting. So just for that to be gone over having nothing to show. Like, I did travel across the world with my boyfriend, like that part was good. Like, we did explore, but you know what I mean? It's just like, I really wish I still had that money. Yes, it was a good experience to travel with him, but it took so long to save that. And if with how I'm still making money, not well, I'm not going to be able to afford this trip again, to do this again for a long time, unfortunately. Like, just being smart with my money. Like, I have some money obviously that I can go spend it on, but I don't, in case something comes up in life, like I need to have money. So it's like, that was all gone, and so I'm not gonna be able to afford to do it again for a long time, unfortunately. So it's just like depressing. So there's so much happened, I'm trying to remember. So I emailed my doctor, like my primary doctor, told him what happened, and I was like, I just feel like this isn't true. And he emailed me back, he's like, yeah, like I don't think that's true either. Like, I don't see where you would have gotten that or how you would have gotten that. He's like, so when you get home, we'll test you. So I spent the rest of the time like just basically crying, feeling bad for myself. Like, could have been like a sign, like a great thing that it didn't happen to me, or it could just be because I have horrible luck. So then you saw like the last few clips of us being in Turkey, because I forgot my camera that day, and then when we came back to the hotel, it broke. So we explored like 2 different areas, lots of walking that day. So that's what happened with that. And then we flew home. Our flight almost like freaking crashed from Dublin to back home. We hit some like weather, so it was like kind of turbulency. I was like, okay, like I can get through this. I was like, we're just driving in a car. And then all of a sudden the plane nosedived, and I was like, great. Like, people screamed real quick, and I was like, I'm gonna die on this plane and make Nate die for no reason, because the surgery didn't even happen. But then it's kind of nice that we left early, because I heard like so many miles away from Istanbul on that Sunday there was an earthquake. So you win, you lose. I don't know. Like, I didn't experience that, I guess. So I got home on Wednesday, like at like 3 something. The flights were horrible. Kids screaming, crying the entire time. Oh, the nosedive, like it was a lot. So that next day I went and got my blood done. And my doctor just ordered the hepatitis C test. And then a few hours later I got it back and it came back positive again. And I was like, what? But then I was like looking up things online and you can get false positives for a many of reasons. So one of them being like either another type of antibody infection in you or some type of autoimmune things. And I don't know if I've said this in one of my old videos. I have like the videos, maybe I'll link up on one of these sides of like the I'm sick video and then the laparoscopy video. So since I was a kid, but I don't really remember this, at least this is what my mom said, but what I know of is from 2020. I was really sick and I got all this blood work done. I had a positive RNA, and I've had that for years now, meaning I think like some type of autoimmune disease, and some other positive stuff. So I know I have some type of autoimmune disease, but I haven't found a doctor that is willing to find it. They all just kind of give up and then say like, you're healthy, like you're young, so you're healthy. So it just came back to bite me in the ass potentially. So that came back positive. So then he ordered another test, which I think was like a HCV RNA PCR test. So it's like 3 tests in one. And it basically would tell you exactly if you have it or not, because if you have it, it would tell you how much of it is like in you. So I got that test that same day on this Thursday, and then I didn't get the results back until Monday. But when mine came back positive, we had Nate get tested. And his came back negative. So I was like, okay, I probably don't have it because his is negative, and like we would have spread it to each other somehow. So then I didn't get my test results until this past Monday. Today is Wednesday, and they came back not detected, meaning there's none in me. So most likely false positive. So I asked my doctor what to do because I was like, I want to get to the bottom of this because this is the whole reason my whole trip got canceled. I lost thousands of dollars. And he was like, yeah, like we'll retest your blood in like a month or 2. And I was like, what? Like, I'm so tired of hearing that answer because since I was like, I've had this stuff since I was a kid. But since 2020, when I got the positive RNA and all this blood work done, and they like the doctors just didn't really give a shit. They kept saying, oh yeah, we'll just retest your blood again in 6 months. We'll just retest your blood again this many months. And like just kept postponing, like saying months. And now it's like 2022. And he was like, yeah, we'll test it again. Like we'll check in a few months again. And I'm like, dude, like this stuff's been positive for years. So yeah, most likely false positive. So I have something else that's triggering the false positive for the hep C when I don't have hep C. Also, don't know if I said in the other video, I ended up reaching out to the doctor just to say, I had to have mentioned it in this, that I was false positive. And his response was like, he was sad that he had to cancel, but glad to hear the good news. And he said that in 3 months, if I'm still false positive, we'll make like a special date just for me because he's technically booked until 2024. So he said that I would have like a special date if I still test positive that we would make. But I'm definitely just gonna look for a different doctor. Something else is triggering the false positive. So it's like my fucking luck that this shit came back to bite me in the ass in a way that I didn't know it was going to. So I don't really know what to do now. I need to find a new rheumatologist for sure. Maybe they'll do something because the last one was very, very bad. I have too much going on in my head right now. I'm like, what am I supposed to say? What am I forgetting to say? Oh yeah, so I messaged like the assistant. I was messaging her a few times like before I got the false positive result, and she was answering and stuff like that. And then once I sent the false positive result, she read it and didn't answer. And then so I was like, okay, I'm gonna message the doctor himself. And he said like, that's great news to hear that I was false positive. Wait like 3 months, get tested again to see if it's still false positive, like if it is still positive, because then it's like a false positive or something like that, because it's something I said, I forget. And then he was like, we'll find a new date for you. So basically, so I wouldn't have to wait that long. So they'd find like some type of new date for me. But like, great that I'm healthy. Great to hear. But I don't know if I'm gonna go back or not. Just because like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna end up finding a new doctor because you have to be there to be there. You know what I mean? So I just wasn't vibing. So I think I'm gonna find someone new, but it's like at this moment, I just don't want to think about it at all because I planned it over a year ago. It was supposed to happen. I lost money. I don't want to necessarily like go. I know it's better to go there to get it done, but now I'm like, that travel sucked. I don't know if I want to go all the way back there. And then my fear is it just getting canceled to me again. But then here in the US, like you really have to find a good doctor because we're not really basically high up on that list of like it being good. Oh, I just clicked my screen. I thought I was gonna shut off. I had to fix the brightness. Sorry, this is terrible. So I'm just like in a mode of defeat. I just wanted to like finally like something about myself. Cause like, I don't know, I have feelings. I don't know if I want it in this video or not, but like, I just wanted to finally like one thing about myself and it like got taken from me. So yeah, like I recommend you getting your regular blood panel before you get rhinoplasty, but also ask your doctor what else they're testing you for so you can get it done back at home because I didn't know like that stuff was getting tested for. I would also recommend getting like an okay for surgery from your primary doctor to bring there because like, so having a hep C, even if I did have it, you can still have surgery with it. At least what I looked up online, you can still have surgery, but it was for the fact that I didn't know that I like had it is for one of the reasons why I got canceled too, because I didn't know, but I was like, you know what I mean? Even though I don't even have it now anyways. So it's like, I don't know. I've done a great job of trying to block it all out to not be crying right now because I cried a lot. And then like I had to tell, when I came home, it was just awkward telling people, and my clients wanted to like know. And then like work, I haven't like told anyone yet. I went the other day and I was kind of like just dodging everyone. So it's just like awkward. I just can't believe like, I think my parents shut the TV off, so I don't want them to hear me. But I mean, I just can't believe I lost thousands of dollars on this. And then other stuff happened too. Like I forget, but it was like a week from hell. But like basically this year sucks so far. I've been screwed over by a few jobs since January. And then recently got screwed over by another job like right before I was supposed to go for like the stupidest reasons. There was a list of things. But see, I'm doing a great job at blocking them out. But yeah, basically found out I almost had a liver infection. The surgery got canceled. I lost thousands of dollars. The whole plane thing. My camera broke. I don't want you to think that I'm thinking of things that went bad to feel bad for me. But there was a list of things. But now I'm just like trying to ignore them. So yeah, it's been rough. And it's awkward still making this video too, knowing like I haven't even posted my other ones yet, like my consultation video and stuff hasn't even gone up yet. But that's the thing about sharing what I shared before I flew, because now everyone knew, so now I have to share what happened. So, and then I have like random other people on Instagram messaging me being like, oh, like how's the trip, how'd the surgery go? And I'm like, it didn't. So I don't know. I feel like there's things I'm forgetting to mention, but I'm just forgetting everything right now in this moment. So maybe I'll get another one, maybe in the US, maybe not. It's just so expensive here. Like it was the fact that it was so much cheaper there, but he did tell me I have like a really bad deviated septum, so maybe I can find someone for that, and then my insurance will cover it, and then I only have to pay for the cosmetic part. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm nervous. But maybe I'll make another video if you guys want of like any tips or tricks or advice or things to do out in Istanbul, Turkey, or things to bring. Let me know if you want that type of video, because I still can't do that video for you. And I'll let you know my update on my life soon, I guess. I don't know what else I'm gonna record. I thought I was gonna record these things for a while, but you know, I guess not. But yeah, thanks for tuning into my video. I hope me staring at myself didn't like annoy the hell out of you the entire time. And I hope I remembered everything. I feel like I didn't, but we're leaving it at that. But yeah, don't have hepatitis. Got a false positive. Still have a positive RNA. I have an autoimmune disease that's been torturing me the past couple years that I don't know what it is yet. Haven't found a doctor that wants to help me. Let me know if you know any surgeons I should go to for my nose. Or any good doctors I should go see for my body of being crippling. Let me know if you have any good advice for luck, because I don't have that. I need that. But yeah, stay tuned to whatever the next video and future videos might be. I hope you enjoyed this journey. Subscribe, like this video. I'll see you later.